Good morning. We were discussing about Prime Minister and the Council of Ministers. So last time we have learned the Council of Ministers, their appointment, difference between Council of Ministers and Cabinet, collective responsibility, individual responsibility. These all things we have discussed in the previous class. And today we will discuss the Prime Minister, position of Prime Minister and the powers of Prime Minister. So let us directly move to the topic, position and the powers of Prime Minister. Powers of the Prime Minister. First one, Prime Minister and the President. Prime Minister and the President. The Prime Minister plays a good role in connection with the President in exercising the functions of the President. Prime Minister plays an important role. So what are the powers of Prime Minister in connection with the President? First of all, Prime Minister is the principal advisor of the President. Prime Minister is the chief advisor. Prime Minister is the chief advisor of the President. The Prime Minister advises the President in all the important matters. We know that the President has vast powers at his disposal, but all these powers are enjoyed by the Prime Minister. And that is why Prime Minister is the real head of the nation, whereas President is only a constitutional head or a nominal head. So first point is, Prime Minister is the principal advisor of the President, or Prime Minister is the chief advisor of the President. Second one, Prime Minister acts as a link between the President and the Council of Ministers. Prime Minister is a link between the President and the Council of Ministers. Prime Minister acts as a link between the President and the Council of Ministers. The Council of Ministers has no direct access to the President in any of the administrative matters. The Council of Ministers cannot approach the President in discussing any matters of national policy directly with the President. If they have to communicate anything related with the national policy or the administrative matters, that is possible only through the Prime Minister. Council of Ministers communicate whatever things they have to communicate to the President, to the Prime Minister, and the Prime Minister communicate the matters to the President. So, Prime Minister acts as a link that connects the Council of Ministers and the President. So Prime Minister is a link between the President and the Council of Ministers. Third point is the President summons and prorogues the Parliament. We have seen in lesson 1 session, President holds the meeting of either house of Lok Sabha, either house of the Parliament, and he has the power to terminate the session of the Parliament. So terminating the session of Parliament is called prorogation. President can summon the Parliament and he can prorogue the Parliament. So President summons and prorogues the sessions of Parliament only on the advice of Prime Minister. So Prime Minister advises the President for summoning and proroguing the Parliament. Okay. President summons and prorogues the sessions of Parliament on the advice of Prime Minister. President summons and prorogues the Parliament on the advice of Prime Minister. The President summons and prorogues the sessions of Parliament on the advice of the Prime Minister. The Prime Minister advises the President for the dissolution of Lok Sabha also. President can dissolve the Lok Sabha. That's also possible only on the advice of Prime Minister. So you can add that point also. The President summons and prorogues the sessions of Parliament on the advice of Prime Minister, and the President dissolves Lok Sabha on the advice of Prime Minister. And the point is we know that the Prime Minister is appointed by the President. And after the appointment of Prime Minister gives a list of members to be appointed as ministers. And on the recommendation of Prime Minister, President appoints the other ministers. So Prime Minister chooses the ministers and President appoints them as ministers. All the ministers are appointed by the President on the advice of Prime Minister. Another point is the President appoints ministers on the advice of the Prime Minister. President appoints the ministers on the advice of the Prime Minister. Similarly, President makes some important appointments, like appointment of the ambassadors, appointment of judges of Supreme Court and judges of High Courts, appointment of controller and auditor general, appointment of governors. Like this, so many other important appointments are also done by the President, and all these important appointments are done on the advice of Prime Minister. So all the important appointments done by the President is also on the advice of Prime Minister. All the important appointments. All the important appointments made by the President or done by the President. All the important appointments done by the President is also the power of Prime Minister. Okay, like example, judges of Supreme Court, SC, and High Courts. Okay. Then Supreme Court and High Court. Okay. Then Controller and Auditor General, CAG, Controller and Auditor General. Okay. Ambassadors, etc. All the important appointments like judges of Supreme Court, judges of High Courts, Controller and Auditor General, ambassadors, etc. are done by the President. But these appointments are possible only on the advice of Prime Minister. Okay, these are some of the points that shows the connection or the position of Prime Minister with the President. Okay, the next one is the Prime Minister and the Cabinet. Second one, the PM, Prime Minister and the Cabinet. Prime Minister and the Cabinet. Okay. See the position of Prime Minister with the Cabinet, or the powers of Prime Minister in the Cabinet. First point is, Prime Minister is the leader of the Cabinet. Leader of the Cabinet. Okay, Prime Minister is the leader of the Cabinet. After the appointment of Prime Minister gives a list of ministers to the President, and the President appoints them as the ministers. And Prime Minister is these ministers, the group of ministers who hold the most important portfolios, experienced ministers, okay, senior ministers. They are formed as a small group, and this group is called Cabinet. And the Prime Minister is the leader of this Cabinet. The Prime Minister presides over the meeting of Cabinet. Second one is Prime Minister allocates portfolios to the Council of Ministers, and he can reshuffle the ministry. Prime Minister allots portfolios or allocates portfolios. Allocates portfolios to the ministries and reshuffle the ministry. It is the Prime Minister who gives portfolios to the ministers. Portfolio means the Prime Minister only make other ministers in charge of certain departments. So thus he allocates or he allows portfolios to the ministers, and he can reshuffle the ministry. He can reshuffle the Council of Ministers whenever needed. If the Prime Minister feels that there is a need of reshuffling the ministry, exchanging the departments, then he can reshuffle the ministry. Okay. The Prime Minister chooses the ministers and he has the power to remove the ministers. Okay. Prime Minister chooses ministers, and can remove the ministers. Prime Minister only chooses the ministers, and on the advice of the Prime Minister, the President appoints the ministers. And Prime Minister has the power to remove the ministers. How Prime Minister is removing the ministers? Prime Minister cannot remove any of the ministers by his own. Prime Minister can ask a minister to resign. A minister to resign, that means if the Prime Minister finds a minister is doing something wrong and he is harmful to the ministry, he may create some problems, or he may cause some problem for the existence of the ministry. Then he can ask, the Prime Minister can ask such a minister to resign. So Prime Minister can ask an erring minister. Erring minister, that means a wrong minister, a minister who is doing something wrong. Prime Minister can ask an erring minister to resign. But if the minister is not ready to resign, then the Prime Minister can recommend the President to remove such a minister, and the President can dismiss such a minister. That we have learned the time of office of a minister. A minister holds the office during the pleasure of the President. That means the President can remove a minister. Prime Minister cannot dismiss any of the ministers. The ministers can be dismissed only by the President, but Prime Minister can advise the President to dismiss a minister. So that is Prime Minister can remove the ministers. So, Leader of Cabinet, he allocates portfolios and reshuffle the ministry. He chooses the ministers and he can remove the ministers. Then another point, Prime Minister of the Cabinet. Another point is there, Prime Minister fourth point. Prime Minister coordinates the policies, coordinates the policies. Prime Minister coordinates the policies of nation. It is the duty of the Prime Minister to ensure the cooperation and coordination of different departments. Cooperation of different departments is necessary for the success of the ministry, for the success of the government, and it is the Prime Minister who ensures the cooperation and coordination of the ministry. Then one more point is there, that is resignation of Prime Minister. Related to the resignation of Prime Minister. So, Prime Minister. Prime Minister is the leader of the cabinet, and the resignation of Prime Minister implies the resignation of the whole cabinet, that means the whole ministry. Resignation of Prime Minister implies the resignation of the whole cabinet. That's all about the Prime Minister and the cabinet. Okay. Next one is Prime Minister inside the Parliament. Power of Prime Minister, the position of Prime Minister in the Parliament. Prime Minister inside the Parliament. position of Prime Minister in the Parliament. Prime Minister is the leader of the Lok Sabha. PM is the leader of Lok Sabha. We know that after the election, the president appoints leader of majority party in the Lok Sabha as the Prime Minister. So since Prime Minister is leader of the majority party, we can say Prime Minister is the leader of Lok Sabha. Second one, Prime Minister is the defender of government policies. Prime Minister is defender of. PM is the defender of government policies. The Prime Minister defends the government policies inside the Parliament as well as outside the Parliament. When a minister or any government policies comes under the attack of the opposition in the Parliament, the Prime Minister comes for the help of the issues for the Prime Minister defends the minister for the government policies. Thus, he is the chief defender of the government policies. The third point is he is the chief spokesperson of the government. The Prime Minister is the chief spokesperson of the government. Spokesperson. Prime Minister is the main spokesperson of the government. All the important government policies are announced by the Prime Minister in the floor of the House. All the important government policies are announced or made public by the Prime Minister only in the floor of the House. That is why he is known as the chief spokesperson of the government. And one more point is there. Intervention of the Prime Minister in controversial issues. The Prime Minister interferes in controversial issues. Intervention of the PM in controversial issues. Intervention of the Prime Minister in controversial issues. Sometimes there may occur an ugly situation in the Lok Sabha or in the Rajya Sabha or in either house of the Parliament. That is, when a matter, when any controversial issues discussed in the House, there may occur an ugly situation. And during such situation or during such time, the Prime Minister interferes in that matter. The Prime Minister interferes in that issue. And with the interference of the Prime Minister, normal situation comes. Because the assurance given by the Prime Minister is more acceptable to the other members of the Parliament. An assurance given by any of the minister is not that much acceptable, but the assurance given by the Prime Minister is rather acceptable than any other minister's assurance. That's why when the Prime Minister interferes in the matter, the opposition may becomes normal and the normal situation regains in the House. So Prime Minister interferes in controversial issues or controversial matters. Let's talk about the Prime Minister inside the Parliament, or Prime Minister's position in the Parliament. The next one is Prime Minister as the leader of the nation. Prime Minister as the leader of the country, as the leader. Prime Minister as the leader of the nation. Yeah. First point. The Prime Minister represents the nation. First point, PM represents the nation. Prime Minister represents the nation. When the Prime Minister speaks, it is said that the entire nation is speaking through him. Prime Minister is the elected head of the nation. He is directly elected by the people. So he is the direct representative of the entire nation. Prime Minister is the direct representative of the entire nation. That is why when the Prime Minister speaks, it is supposed that the 130 crore population of India is speaking through the Prime Minister. When the Prime Minister speaks, it is supposed that the entire nation is speaking through him. That is, Prime Minister represents the nation. Second point, during critical time, even opposition supports the Prime Minister. During critical time, even opposition supports the Prime Minister. Supports the Prime Minister. Actually, what is the function of opposition? Opposition is always trying to find out the mistakes of the government, mistakes of the Prime Minister, and the mistakes of the ministers. They wanted to criticize the government and the Council of Ministers. But when the nation faces any serious crisis like a war, even the opposition comes for the support of the Prime Minister, because interest of the nation is of paramount importance. Interest of the nation is of paramount importance. That is why during critical years of war, critical time of the nation, that means during the time of war, even the opposition parties also comes for the support of the Prime Minister and come for the support of the government. Then third point is the Prime Minister represents the nation. Critical time, even opposition supports the Prime Minister. And third point, the Prime Minister defends the policies of nation. Prime Minister defends the policies of nation. The Prime Minister decides. The Prime Minister decides relationship with other nations. India's relationship with the other nations is decided by the Prime Minister. Prime Minister decides the diplomatic relationship of India with the other nations. What type of relationship India should maintain with the other nations? Okay, with the neighboring nations or with the other nations. So this diplomatic relationship of India is decided by the Prime Minister. And one more point is there. Fourth point. Fourth point is Prime Minister protects the interest of nation. The PM protects the interest of nation in international forums. The Prime Minister protects the interest of nation in international forums. That means in the international forums or international meetings or summits, Prime Minister protects. Prime Minister participate in the international meetings or international conferences or summits, and in these international meetings or conferences, Prime Minister protects the interest of our nation. It is the responsibility of Prime Minister to protect or to stand for the interest of our nation. So these are some of the position of Prime Minister as the leader of India or leader of the nation. That's all about the position and the powers of Prime Minister. So next topic is one more small topic is there. That is just for your knowledge. I am explaining. The topic is factors. Check the authority of Prime Minister. The factors which check the authority of the year. Okay. Just listen. The Prime Minister has vast powers. Okay, he is the real head of the nation, so he enjoys vast powers. But certain factors check the authority of the Prime Minister. And these factors that check the authority of the Prime Minister are: the first one is the opposition. The opposition. We know that opposition is always trying to fight, always trying to criticize the government, its policies, the Council of Ministers. So opposition is the most important authority or most important factor that check the authority of the Prime Minister. Second one is opposition means opposition parties. Second one is the press and public opinion. Press and public opinion also plays an important role in checking the power of Prime Minister. You know that press means newspapers, magazines, media, all these things. Okay. They are always publishing the things or keeping the things in the knowledge of the people and reveals the truth. So press and public opinion, these are also factors that check the authority of the Prime Minister. Two most important factors that check the authority of Prime Minister. First one is the opposition parties. Second one, the press and the public opinion. Then two more factors are there. They are not that much important. One is the political party to which Prime Minister belongs. Okay. The political party to which the PM belongs. Because the Prime Minister has to ensure the support of the political party to which he belongs. If he is going against the ideas and against the directions, against the principles of the political party, the party may take action against the Prime Minister, then that will be dangerous for the Prime Minister. So, political party to which the Prime Minister belongs, he has to follow the directions of the political party to which the Prime Minister belongs, and at the same time he has to ensure the support of the Council of Ministers as well. Then one more is there is the coalition government. Coalition government. If the government is a coalition government, you know what is coalition government? Government that is formed with the help of two or more than two political parties. Such a government is called a coalition government. When there is no political party gets majority, no single political party gets majority, then the biggest party will get the support of some other political parties and they prove majority. So such a government is called a coalition government, and in a coalition government the position of the Prime Minister is vulnerable. Why? Anytime if the supporting political parties may withdraw their support, if the supporting political parties in the coalition government withdraw their support, then the government fails to prove majority, then the government has to resign. So, during the time of coalition government, when there is coalition government, the position of Prime Minister and the position of ministry is also vulnerable. That's all about the lesson. You read the lesson well, understand the lesson, you find out the stances and learn it. Okay, thank you.